Like I remember when they were talking about things like the face on Mars. That sounds so kooky. And then you see pictures, you go, hey man, what is that?
Well,
Why don't I hear about that in school?
yeah, and
Yes.
actually, that face on Mars had a lot to do with my career path, actually.
Well, so what is your take on all this? Because one of the things that happened was with the face on Mars is the initial images were very grainy but fascinating because it did kind of look like a face. More remarkable was the geometric pattern of the base of it. But also, then I looked at it and was like, that shape is interesting. Like it almost looks unnatural. That show a very clear square. This one's nuts because this one is somewhere in the neighborhood of between plus 300 meters. Like they don't know how much longer it is than 300 meters, but it's the minimum size of this thing is 300 meters across. And it's a full-on square. That's absolutely...
If you can see the rest of the 90-degree angle up at the top and over at the side, if you can trace out, that is one massive right there. Nature does not work in 90-degree angles. So one of the tenets in archaeology, when you see 90-degree angles, there's an intentionality underlying that structure. And this is on Mars. Through freedom of information, NASA had to release all of the lunar images up through the Clementine mission. And when they did release them, they ended up pixeling out a whole bunch of stuff, which made it look even more. So you got to say, what is it on the lunar surface that we paid for with our tax dollars that we're not supposed to be seeing? Why in the world would they be pixelating the images that are on there that actually make them look even more obvious than they are? So what we're seeing, what Hoagland was talking about, what you're seeing on Mars is not happening in a vacuum. It's happening, we're seeing the same thing on the lunar surface to varying degrees because they're looking for evidence of life on Mars, and it's happening next to massive monuments and geometric structures that are now dated about 50,000 years BP before present. So they're looking for microbes and signs of life next to the most massive signs of life that you could imagine. China was never part of that agreement. So China has said when they land, they're going to televise live what they find on the lunar surface to the people of the Earth.